Obsession, Backrooms, also Iron Lung, which I thought you might know about 'cause you're a video game guy.
It was
But
Markiplier, I think. He's a
yeah, exactly.
famous YouTuber. He did that, and people actually liked it. I haven't seen it, but people liked it.
What's I mean? So that did well. These are two, 19-year-old filmmaker, 26-year-old filmmaker. Both these movies seems like audiences are, excited and flocking to.
Definitely, definitely. But the one you mentioned, the Iron Lung one, I think that's even more impressive because the guy was the main actor too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I know, yeah, he
That's
did
like
it
a
all and
whole
self-financed.
and self-financed.
That's the difference too. Is even with this Kane Parsons kid, directed but not didn't write the picture as with Obsession. Obsession was written and directed by Barker. You saw both in the same day, Obsession and Backrooms. Is this
Yes,
the,
I did.
is this the
Yes, I
future
did.
of Gen Z filmmakers? Are they the future
Well,
of Hollywood?
I don't know if it's the future, but it's definitely where it's going. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about it. It was a perfect combination, right? You go in and you get to see similar movies, similar like YouTube, like young directors, and then you can compare them, and then you can see what do they have in common. What's the commonality at the situation. So first movie that I looked at was Backrooms. That was the first movie I went to. Even though you told me go see Obsession first, but my timings I couldn't make, so I was
Right.
like, "Fuck it, let's go with the Backrooms." And so this is the 19-year-old you were telling me about. His name is Kane Parsons. Kane Parsons, and I looked up at the whole backstory of it, and it's crazy. So this guy, basically, he's around 16 or 17. It's COVID, and he's just learning Blender, like 3D modeling. And this whole backroom thing happened, and I looked it up. It's fascinating. It's just one picture, right? It was one picture of this thing, and I found out later it was actually a furniture store in Wisconsin. It was a furniture store. It was renovation, and then it went online, and on 4chan it went crazy. And he did this backroom stuff, and he basically did it all digitally, with the video camera, and that shit blew up. And so what I'm getting from the information is that the studios, they saw this thing, right? And it was, I think it was Focus Pictures. I think it was Focus. No, A24 approached him, and there was like Zoom meetings, and I found out like his parents were with him during Zoom
Yeah, of
meetings.
course,
Yeah,
right.
I thought, I was like, what the hell is this, man? He's like the youngest director in the studio's history or something like that.
Right, yeah.
And
But look, Michael Jordan's parents came with him when he met with Nike, so
basically, so yeah, so the budget was 10 million, which is a lot, way more than Possessions. See, at first I thought, okay, Possessions will be the one
Obsession.
with the
Yeah.
high budget, and this one would be the one with the low budget. But no, it was the opposite.
That's what my biggest takeaway. It's funny you said that. You can look at the two of them, and I couldn't help but think that way as well.
Yes.
And what I find really interesting is that so Backrooms, I think visually very cool, very exciting. You can tell it comes from like kind of a video game centric kind of. I think it proves like people one like you said the popularity of those videos were huge. I even stumbled across them years ago. Thought they're because I heard about the popularity. I was what's all this about? Went and looked through them. It's very cool. The whole idea is sort of like they seem like places that you almost remember, like it feels like a dream or something, which I think the movie captures really well. So he's really created these environments in this world. You can tell he's got a good grasp on that. I don't know if the story has too much like really to offer, whereas it's total opposite for me when I look at Obsession, where I'm like nothing really visually, like nothing groundbreaking, nothing sort of, it's even in 4:3 framing, which I appreciated, but it's even like, didn't even shrinks the frame it even allows you to look at. So like it wasn't really focused on trying to do anything grandiose, with that, but it told a story that I think was one written by the director as well, but so succinct and so powerful. And he really has something to say. Whereas this kid is both very talented, but Parsons I think visually is like okay, I have a vision, but he wasn't the writer. And I think because of that, there's like it's a very cool horror film. And I really liked it. I think it's got a a nice stamp on the genre. and it's got some cool stuff to say. But I was really impressed with Obsession, whereas I think that's, we're gonna it's just simple things that I think we'll see, you know, people just with a flower pot in front of their face, for Halloween for decades to come. Just the simple things like that, which they somehow made horrifying, so yeah, anyway, I'm also always already was a big fan of Barker's. Like I saw his reels and his YouTube stuff on That's a Bad Idea. Always thought he was funny. His humor, is some of those videos were also really highbrow. Like for Instagram content, it's already like steps above the other kind of skits you see. So I was excited for this anyway, and seeing his other stuff like Milk and Cereal and you know, it's interesting that obviously this is it feels to me like this on a different level though. You see people reacting and who knows. The other thing is like just to play devil's advocate, this could be flash in the pan. You know what I mean? We've seen this before, this sort of like, oh, especially with horror films, oh, mate, is this the new guy? Like, oh, look, he's fresh director. This is the moment which I think he's capitalizing off of. It seems like I think he already cast Aaron Paul in his next movie. He's working on something about anything but ghosts or something. But so anyway, I think he's gonna ride the wave. But also, like I said, just to play devil's advocate, could it all just crash and burn? Is this really a many thing? Is it just kind of a flash in the pan? He's got an audience.
Well,
They seem to follow him.
actually, no. Well, to be fair, it's the quality. The quality
Right.
it's obvious. The quality is obvious because see, the thing is, you like I saw that movie, the one you was Bring Her Back, right?
That's it. Yeah.
It was released a year ago, exactly a year ago, in May 29th. So exactly the same time Possessions was released. Unfortunately, it wasn't a huge success box office, and I was very because I loved the movie. I thought the quality was amazing, and I started contrasting, and I'm like, is that better or is this better? And I thought both were brilliant. I thought both were brilliant, and it's weird. It's timing, right? It's timing, and also word of mouth, because that's what I hear. What I hear is that word of
Well,
mouth
that's what I mean. I
spread.
was I was amazed it was actually even playing when I messaged you. I was like, are either of these films even playing in Oman? And that is also an incredible feat to me, like
Both, yeah.
and I wanted to ask you about that. What is it like? And was the theater packed? Were there people there in the audience? Was it just you?
No, well,
Did it seem like anything was censored? You know?
really, no. I because I do have a question, but the Obsessions movie. So basically, first when I went to see the Backrooms, it was a smaller theater, not too many people, maybe around 15 people, maybe 20 people. What's interesting is that when I came out, in my head, I thought, okay, this is like kind of slow because I'm like thinking maybe these people don't like this, but then I see these Omani like young girls, like young women, and they were like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And I'm like, oh shit, they liked it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I was, so yeah. So
I mean, I'm curious
apparently,
about that because also it made me wonder about, because I know dating in Oman in general, like it's interesting thing. Because, well, because it's you can't even like public displays of affection, sort of like touching your partners strictly, you don't do that, right? But I guess
well,
but
yeah, you
there's no
don't.
censorship in films. You can watch it, it's fine to
Yeah.
see.
No,
But I mean,
I mean, the thing
but is the
is,
idea of a date night movie a thing? Or is it you go with your girlfriends, boys go with
if you're an
boys, girls?
expat, if you are like yeah, you could see couples everywhere, but they're not locals. For
Uh,
locals, it's just they're not used to it, and they not don't do that. They go separate. Because when I went to this, like either a group of women going together or a group of men
yeah,
going together,
yeah,
or the husband and wife. But you
right.
don't see like a big group of girls and dudes together,
Well, it's
basically.
one of the reasons I asked because one of the conversations around obsession is kind of this misogyny sort of narrative, where obviously clearly the bear character, the lead character is the villain. It is one of those careful what you wish for scenarios. He brought it all on himself, which she continues to remind him, like, don't forget you wanted this, which I love. Like I said, there's some things that really stick with it for me. Like, just kill me, please, just kill me. So those moments, like, oh, like, and I love how all they really did was put them in the dark. You know what I mean? Like that's what the kind of the brilliance of it. Like I said, Backrooms has this like, whoa. huge, like, oh my God, scary. Like it's forever and ever, never ending scary. Where this was like all it is what any could happen to anybody just in a dark room with something, or and little moments, like I said, I have this here. Little moments like this, you know, can
Yeah,
like live
yeah.
rent free, I think, in everyone's heads forever. And its genius is its simplicity, Whereas I think the genius, if you will, for Backrooms is how much he put into the universe, even though I don't think it seems to have a very clear idea of what any of it is, which is the fun of it. You get to the end, you're like, what the heck was this? It is like a memory of a memory of a memory, but he's not interested in answering any of the questions.
But to be fair, neither does Obsession. Like we don't get
Sure.
any idea of what the hell this thing was,
That's
or what the
true.
hell. It's
You
like
just
from
forgive it when
where
it's the magic. Yeah, right.
you don't know the origin of evil. Basically, you or whatever the thing is, you don't know what the hell it is, and
Uh-huh.
people don't care. People don't care.
It's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? You leave it to your imagination, basically. You know what I'm saying? And what I read about Obsessions was that originally he wrote the script, and there was no wish or anything. It was just about an obsessive relationship. But then later, someone recommended him to, or he saw something, and then and he added that later. And what's crazy, I looked up the story how he got this movie. So he was making, because I didn't, both of them, I have never heard of them. I've never seen anything before. And for him, what I read was that he did a short movie, The Chair, and the studio exec called him and they wanted to make him that movie, but he pitched them this movie instead. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So he kind of did that. And you mentioned his other movie. What was it? Milk and
Milk and
cereal.
cereal.
Milk and
Yeah.
cereal. Well, here's the common thread. Here's the common thread. What was the milk and cereal film? What was it? It was found footage,
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
just
Yeah.
like Backrooms.
Interesting.
So they both started basically in the beginning as found footage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is so funny because they're, especially with Parsons, comes from a generation that doesn't even use, digital cameras. He was born 2005, which is just a few years before you and I met.
Yeah. The milk and cereal, the budget was $800, and it took him 4 months to do it. And he was trying to sell it. He couldn't sell it, so he released it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the other guy, Parsons, his thing was he did it all on his computer. He didn't film anything. He did
Yeah,
it. He
the
did it
blender.
Blender. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, it's budget wise. Why was it? Why did I? Because that's the budget.
Yeah. Or if young filmmakers do try to start with horror. I mean, Spielberg's biggest, out the gate was Jaws. You would think, like everyone would think now, oh, all he can make is horror films, right? Oh, you better. I bet the next thing he's gonna do. So now it's what I wonder with these kids. Like now they got their foot in the door, right? Doesn't have to mean, I think especially Barker. I think he's capable of some really interesting stuff. So will he can? It sounds like he's gonna, because he's especially he has a good handle on comedy and drama and how they go together, similar to
Jordan Peele.
yeah, similar to Jordan Peele. The sort of like they come from a background in comedy, which somehow translates really well into horror. But I want to see, I'm hoping, like I said, this is a jumping point for him that he might just get stuck like actors do, like oh, he's the horror guy, and but I
Well, he's
think.
doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre next. That's what I hear.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he's got anything but Ghost coming up, and then
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
He also built an audience himself. Like that Instagram following, his YouTube following, it's pretty large. Like I'm part of it, before I even knew these things were coming. I followed his That's a Bad Idea page because I thought it was funny. So he's some of that word of mouth, like you said, is making it travel. But I think some of these new filmmakers come with their own built-in audiences, which I think is what A24 and some of these studios are paying attention to. It's like
Yeah.
this, you're a guaranteed, not a guaranteed hit for us, but at least similar, like that's the same reason you hire a well-known, likable actor. It's like, oh, this is sellable. That's another really funny thing, though, again, about these two is that with Backrooms, well-known, famous actors in it, where Obsession, use basically like, unknowns. Like these people have worked and they have work. They're working actors. I think the lead was in Teen Wolf and some other things like that. But you know what I mean? They weren't relying on a massive star to sell the thing. These are besides, the one face is from the YouTube channel we know. But you know what I mean? It's totally word of mouth and his built-in audience. There's not a single kind of bankable name in Obsession, and yet it's making more money than Star Wars currently. And I think
But
it might have a longer run in cinemas because of that. I guess it's traveling the world. I can't believe I was amazed to hear it was in Oman.
yeah, bro, and when and so to continue what I was saying,
Right.
so backrooms, small amount, not that many people, and then a bunch of girls were saying, "Oh, so then I went for Obsession." That was on a bigger screen, and it was almost full. The theater was almost full, and people were very quiet and very, Omani, they're usually quiet, so, and there were laughs and giggles when shit was happening, and the financing. So I was thinking about, okay, what's the money? How much money was all done? So what I read was they gave him 1 million. So this production company gave him 1 million to do it, and he developed a script in like 8 months or something. And then he shot it. The shooting schedule was like 30 days or something. Not that 20. No. It
Yeah,
was
I saw that. 20 days, I think.
20 days, which is
Yeah.
crazy. And so then he finished the movie, and they showed it in Toronto. They showed it in Toronto Film Festival, and then Blumhouse.
That's when it was
And
bought.
that's when they was bought by
Right.
Focus.
For like 15 million or something, right?
15 million, which is a record. But the thing is, I also saw the marketing. So Blumhouse is a legend in terms of that. And for the
horror.
backrooms, the person who was joined for the marketing was James Wan. Remember James Wan, the guy
Yeah,
who
of
did it?
course, right. I remember that.
So he was the marketing guy for that, and Blumhouse was so that helped. Very good marketing. I'm not sure the budget for marketing at both films around 10, 15 million. So that was the budget. So basically the same budget, marketing budget. But I like both movies. And the thing is, what I feel like about Possessions is the performance of the main lady.
Gosh.
She killed it, bro.
She's going
She made the
places.
movie.
I know
She made the
it's
movie.
all anyone's talking about, and it's so true. I that's what I mean. I think it's what's funny is yeah, Backrooms used massive stars, and and Obsession I think created some.
And the guy actor, when he started at the beginning, I was like, there was one moment in the movie where I didn't believe it. I thought there's no way. Is when they're in the car and he wants to say this thing to her, and she walks away, and she when she comes out and she asks him, if you're into me, this is the
Right,
time to
this is the
say it.
time.
And I'm like, well, even if you're the shyest person in the world, bro, even if you're the shy, you would say something. And he's like,
I think that's
I don't
what
want to
that's
say nothing.
yeah, that's the pain. That's the painfulness of it. Like I said, that's why it's all yeah. He is the worst. He's the worst
He's the
character.
worst, but I couldn't believe that. See, I thought that was unnecessary. If she just would have, because it was great.
Oh.
Like she would give him, she would tell him, and he would say
Right.
nothing and say out, and then that final thing, I'm like, why? For
Well,
what?
here's my
For
issue
what?
is I think what bothered me is why he kept his cat. I mean, at first, I mean, it's like his cat dies in the first scene of the movie,
Yes,
but it
yes,
seems
yes.
like after, especially after, like then she comes and stays over and makes that weird sort of memorial of the dead cat right on the floor. That was. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she just then also saved a piece, but then like weeks go by, it's implied, and then the cat comes up again in the sandwich. Remember?
But I thought that was a different cat. I didn't think it was the same cat.
Oh, I guess that's wild. That's crazy. I assumed it was. I thought they were trying to. But anyway, I was like, it's time to throw the cat. You gotta get the cat out of the freezer. But at the same token, he obviously still has his grandmother also died. He's keeping her meds. So he's self-medicating with her medication. So like, I don't know. There's some dark stuff going on already. That's kind of never clearly addressed. And so obviously he tries to take the pills in the end. That's what killed the cat. So like, I think it's really nice. It sets that up right from the get-go. So when that comes around again in the end, you're like, oh, it's such a perfect. That's what I mean. Is the screenplay is
One thing I wanted to mention is the ending. So he shot multiple endings at the beginning. So his ending was Original ending was that she becomes free, and then she kills herself.
Interesting. Okay.
And so he did one shot, so one shot, multiple endings, and then when they were cutting, when he was editing, he picked that one, the one he,
I'll
and it
be
was and it
yeah.
was fantastic. I loved it because I couldn't, like, he killed himself, and then he wanted to throw up, and then he stopped, and I couldn't, and then it hit me. She did the wish,
She wish.
and
I know exactly. In
it
my
was
audience, everyone was like, like, there's just clarity of everyone going,
yeah,
"Oh my!" I loved actually. I actually would have loved to see a happy ending though. I love what they did. I wanted everything they did. Like I think it's beautiful because you get a moment there briefly where they both are obsessed with each other. That's fine. You know, it's like they're both, and you're kind of like that's the moment you want. But by then, everything's gone to hell. You know, he's literally got two of his friends dead, surrounding in his room and in the house with him. So it's just so messed up that I wish that I love that happens for a brief moment. Then, oh no, the pills are working. He dies. That frees her. I wish all that happened, and yet still somehow I wish there was one more wish that someone because they set up a scenario. He kept trying to say like, "Can you just wish that I never wished?" Which would then like bring everyone back to life. And like I know it's kind of a cheesy ending, but it felt so deserved because I felt so bad for her by the end. You know what I mean? The person who sort of that's what's so interesting about the script is like it's all happening to him, but he's the it's all his fault. You know what I mean? This whole thing is his creation, right? It's like your own monster eating you or something. You know, so like I wanted her really badly to be freed from the thing, which I guess she is, but I also wanted it to free her. It's almost, I wanted to revert back to like he would know it all happened, and it goes back to him being quietly obsessed with her himself, and only he like, but she never knew, and he goes back to admiring her from a distance and just accepts that he'll never have her love. That was kind of the way I wish it would have ended. Even though I love what it did, I just for her, what I mean, literally because the character worked for me so well. I wanted her to be okay. I wanted the friends to come back to life. I wanted to see them all at the bar again at trivia like cheersing and him just kind of like, damn, that would have been
oh
cool to me. But
yeah, I
I'm
get
really
it.
happy with what they did. I just wanted to see that for them.
But it was scary though. I really thought the possessions was more scary for me than the
Me
backrooms.
too. I was actually like Backrooms was interesting, but it was like slow and monotonous and kind of like I don't want to say boring, but like I was like 'cause I was interested, but in a different way, not in the
Yeah.
characters, not in the like I said, there's just the simplicity of the horror and obsession that I really enjoyed. Like it's the kind of thing it seems like, yeah, it made simple, just someone standing in the corner of a dark room, it made watching you sleep, you know, made
Mm.
that
And she
horrifying.
comes to his house with the dress, and she's in that shadow, and you see her eyes like glinting.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, that was a really interesting point. I got back. You're about to say the same thing, aren't you?
no, no, tell me.
Well, yeah, they showed the kind of the possession through this glistening thing in her eyes. At,
Yes.
at the end, he has when he turns, he has the same when he comes back into the room after he tries the mirror. The glistening is in his eyes too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They
I
put the
didn't
same
see
light
that.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to really nail it home that now they're both have they've both been obsessed with each
Shit.
other. It's really smart. It's really smart. I said that when we heard the crack, everyone in the room was like, Also kept hearing this guy. It annoyed the crap out of me. Like I love being with audiences in theaters, but this guy back behind me kept saying, "This bitch is crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, dude. That's the movie." Like,
The movie.
every time she did something, like, "Oh my God, this bitch is crazy." I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That's
that's
that's that's
that's
that's
correct.
that's
That's what's going
correct
on here."
observation.
Yeah.
The two things that I feel like are the same as the scares, and they're quality scares. They're quality scare because they're both low budget, good cinematography for both. And what I liked about Backrooms is I was just watching the Red Letter Media about that movie, and they always complain about how dark movies are, how dark, and I don't know, maybe it's just America because here I don't know, I
Yeah,
never get that.
they live in Milwaukee and they go to a shitty theater and they think it's all like
Yeah,
they live in Milwaukee. Every time they
I
say
mean,
that, I'm like, you're stupid, dude. Yeah. My theaters are great.
my theaters are great too,
Yeah.
but they really appreciated Backrooms because they thought, boy,
It's
it
well lit.
was
I
well
do too,
lit
actually. Yeah. It was a horror film completely in the light, which is
in the light.
I wasn't a big fan of Barbarian, but Backrooms also felt a bit that, but the best parts of Barbarian to me were this creepy idea that there's tunnels underneath these houses that connected us, which is basically what Backrooms is doing, and the massive baby-like weird, I don't know, man-eating villain thing. Those are the best
Yeah.
parts, and it seems like it ripped that right out of Barbarian anyway. You know what I mean? Like that kind of getting chased by thing, which I loved.
That was one of my disappointments in Backrooms. I did not really like the monster.
Mm.
The
The mismemory of the commercial.
It was hard for me to understand why would he kill him.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a little bit more of a, it's not as clear as a narrative as Obsession had, but I do think it's interesting, like how there's this idea of it's repeating, right? Layers, and it's getting worse and worse as it goes down. Um, where the therapist was having him repeat things from his past. Like, let's relive this, this horrible moment where your wife kicked you out, and that's kind of what you believe was the stumbling block that's led you to why you hate your life now, or whatever. And then he's sort of like, it's about these repetition patterns and how we'll fall back into that forever and ever and ever, the same stumbling blocks. And I think that's a cool concept, but it just kind, I mean, it's just sort of like, here you go, take it, do what you will with it, which is, that's kind of nice. It's up to the interpretation for the viewer. And also, like, I think because of it, you have less substance to hold on to. You have less to grab onto besides, like, oh, these were cool visuals, and now I've got to make up my mind what they all mean.
It's hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that this is
Some fresh blood.
fresh blood, but it's all about creativity, right? And being seen and marketing. I feel
Yeah.
like people still go to movies. People see how much money they made.
This is AMC's highest reported May since 2019. So it's pre-COVID levels back up. So yeah, it's a good sign.
It's a
And
good
like I said,
sign.
I love to see fresh blood in Hollywood.